Hey everybody, we are sort of backstage. We're like past the model room because we're looking for a little bit of quiet space. It's Mary from behind the chair, and I'm here with my good dear friend Colin Walsh, who's the general manager of Matrix. And how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Mary?
Good, good. Are you excited?
I am really excited. It's actually amazingly overwhelming.
Is it?
Yeah, to be in that back room with all of those artists and that talent, and literally some of the biggest names in this industry.
I know.
It's amazing.
Like all in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
It's
it
amazing.
is incredible.
So the reason I wanted to talk to Colin is because I think one of the coolest things that happened is, despite the fact that one manufacturer called and said, "Hey, we want you to be involved in this," they wanted everybody to be involved in this. So I really want to understand, from an industry perspective, why did L'Oreal, all 4 brands, like it's not just Matrix that got involved, but Matrix, Redken, Pureology, and L'Oreal Professional all got involved. So why did you guys, I'm sure you guys sat around and thought about, what does it cost? It's the year end, everybody's busy. So what happens in a big giant company like L'Oreal that all of a sudden you say, we can make this happen?
I'll tell you, I think sometimes in these big giant companies, it can feel like business a lot of days, but the truth is the people that are in them and have committed years of their life to them love this industry. And a moment like this, it wasn't a question. It wasn't a discussion of if we would participate, it would be how. What's the best way for us to be involved? How can we help support this event so it really does what it's intended to do, which is support the people affected by this horrible storm? And for us, it's an honor to be here, and we were all thrilled.
It's we're in New York. We're actually literally right on the Hudson River, and we can see from this space, we can see New Jersey and the area that was flooded, and we can see the Freedom Tower, is that what it's called? Freedom Center, Freedom
Yep.
Tower that's being built. So there's something I think really sort of magical about the space that we're in, and not the fact that we're on the 14th floor, because to me it's like we're rising above it all. And did it have any effect on you guys that it was in New York and you guys are all here and you knew so many people? Did you all know somebody?
I think the size of the storm really was felt because Manhattan is so dense and always seems to be sheltered from anything that terrible.
Totally.
And this exact area was black. So we're on 26th Street, and all the way up to 34th Street is black. And downtown was flooded, and parts of the city were just underwater.
And you had no power.
No power, and it was amazing. I actually was in Manhattan on the day after the storm, and to see Fifth Avenue black, every door closed, nobody on the streets, you really felt the power of what happened. And then once you started to see some of the pictures of really how it personally affected so many people, not just in our industry, but really everywhere, and it was incredible. It was devastating.
Did that, because we always talk about, that we see things on TV, right? And so we're like, that's somebody else's tragedy, and we cry for a minute, and then we go, and the TV cameras go away, and we go back to our lives. Did you feel like all of a sudden you knew so many people impacted, that really changed everything for you?
Certainly when it hits a center like New York, just because of the density of population, so many people are affected. But I think you raise a really good point, that I think sometimes we move so quickly. And we move away, and it's hard to face really the devastation that still exists for so many. There'll be people that will see this that have a salon either devastated, down, a home, are unable to work, and I think we can never lose sight of that.
And I think that's the great thing about all coming together as one tonight, is that we're also helping our own industry. And I think one of the great things we learned about New York in this whole thing is that one person can make a difference. One person, the grassroots efforts that happened after the storm were far bigger than any grassroots efforts that have happened anywhere in the nation or any other storm. We didn't wait. The people in New York did not wait for FEMA and the government. They just made things happen. And so I think tonight is all about that. Like, everybody was so busy, and we know that you guys are all busy, and it's amazing to sit in that room and just say, wow.
Well, for me, sometimes you can define our industry as an industry or a business community, but the reality is it just isn't that alone. It's really a family. It is people connected. And in a crisis, you count on the people in your family.
Well, and of course, Matrix has always been about love. Like, your campaign the last 2 years has been all about love. Didn't even talk about product, for a long period of time. And So you felt that. I know you as a person felt the power of what it was for hairdressers to love and care about each other. And so talk to me a little bit about that matrix feeling. And so how does your matrix team feel now, knowing that they can come and support something like this, knowing that your mantra all along has been about helping?
Well, it's that word love can translate to so many things. It's about passion, it's commitment, dedication that I see stylists commit to every single day. And so for me, to have the privilege to lead an organization like Matrix, it has to be to support, to inspire, to love, which can be a word that can make people uncomfortable. In other industries, it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable in ours.
No.
And that's why I absolutely am honored to be here and will commit everyone in the Matrix team. I'm so proud to be involved in this, and we do our very best to not forget, not just here, because these type of horrible storms, events, or tragedies hit all across the country, and that's our challenge and opportunity and responsibility is to be aware and to be there when someone needs you, and not just sometimes as a manufacturer.
Well, and I know, one of the key things I remember that you guys did is after that terrible tornado in Missouri, that you came, Matrix was just jumped in and rebuilt an entire city, and that was pretty powerful.
Well, it's something that's been very powerful for me on many occasions, and what I've learned is that recovery after something this huge actually begins in a salon. Because they touch so many people in the community, people feel strong again, normal again, cared for again when they can go into the salon. And so it becomes a vital sign of health and recovery. And so we really do our best to try to recover stylists and salons. Yeah, and certainly not just Matrix salons, because we know, it's not about what brand you use. It's about you've chosen this profession to really help people, and we'll do everything we can to try to help.
But I was down there, and so many salons were part of that. We all felt the love of that, and I think that was an amazing experience. So thank you so much for being here. And I'm just going to say that I believe that this guy was probably the one that made it happen at L'Oreal. So on behalf of everybody that's sitting in this room and every hairdresser that's watching at home tonight, thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for caring this much about hairdressers and the passion that your team has. Because it's a lot of work to get out here 2 weeks before Christmas and make this happen. So we really appreciate all your efforts. And
it's my pleasure to be here and part of the entire L'Oreal group that's here. And I thank you in return, because I know how hard you work to make this happen.
Yeah.
And you lent your voice in the community to really rally this, and so I'm very appreciative.
Good to see you.